How is it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its Critics' Choice sale. Alongside that, there is the Indie sale going on right now. Both of the sales are ending right around the same time. Actually, right at the same time. February the 25th. So if you got a few more days to take advantage of that, I've got some more deals under the price of $10 to go over. We already did an under $10 video, but that was just covering the Critics' Choice sale. I got more under $10 deals from the Critics' Choice sale, and then we also have some under $10 options from the indie sale. So a lot of good stuff. We're gonna get through all of that, so let's just get right into it. Let's kick things off with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition for $9.99. For a lot of people, Resident Evil 7 was the game that took Resident Evil back on the right track. And if you remember in 2017, I don't want to say like this game blew up and it got a lot of attention right away, but I feel like over the years, people went back, played it, realized how good of a game it was, and then obviously it goes without saying, Resident Evil is back in the forefront of things. And Biohazard was a really good game, taking things back to the survival horror essence of Resident Evil, and an incredibly engrossing and compelling game as far as the atmosphere and tension goes. Maybe a little bit too much for some people, particularly while it's not going to be relevant to most of you guys, it did have a VR component, and on PlayStation 4, that VR component was pretty incredible. And I thought it was like super immersive, and it just heightened the tension in this game. Unfortunately, that's not playable on PS5, but nonetheless, the game itself is tremendous, and for $9.99, definitely would recommend it with the DLC and the Gold Edition and all that good stuff. Next up, a couple games from Hazelight. I want to give a shout out to A Way Out and It Takes Two. A Way Out is $5.39, while It Takes Two is $7.99. A Way Out, for a lot of people, was like the breakout title for Hazelight. They did work on Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, but A Way Out was a really compelling co-op title that had a lot of twists and turns and really well done, and It Takes Two really built upon that. A little bit of a different tone, but both of them incredibly engrossing from a narrative standpoint, and It Takes Two I thought was a really solid game. It even won some Game of the Year awards and was nominated, so that was definitely a step up. And then Split Fiction, their latest title, was really good as well. Like, Hazelight has carved an area for themselves that not a lot of other studios or publishers are really looking at, so I think they should continue doing what they do really well. But both of those titles are really good, especially. But again, you'll need a friend to play with. Those games are co-op only, so I know friends these days are hard to come by, so yeah, keep that in mind. Next up, we have Gotham Knights, 90% off for $6.99. I know whenever I mention this game, some people get all up in their feelings. Look, I get why people, you know, vehemently at times hate this game, but it's really not that bad. I think it's, I wouldn't put Gotham Knights at the same caliber as Suicide Squad. I think Gotham Knights is orders of magnitude a better game than Suicide Squad, and I still thought it was a decent open world action game. Is it at the level of the Batman Arkham titles? No. It's not done by Rocksteady. It was done by WB Montreal, who did Batman Arkham Origins, but it's not, I wouldn't even say it's at the quality level of that game, but I enjoyed the game, man. I'm not a big DC guy, but going through the playthrough as Nightwing, I had a fun time with it. I think it's a fairly decent game and overall something that you're gonna enjoy at south of $10. At $70, yeah, highway robbery, you getting fleeced, but at $7, I think it's a decent pickup, and I think if you're a DC fan, you're gonna have a good time with it. I like the characters, you know, it's not blow away, but still, I thought it was a fairly decent open world game, man. So yeah, $6.99 on that. Next up, we got Mass Effect Legendary Edition, 85% off for $8.99. Now, this has been cheaper. This has been down to $5.99, which that's the ideal price to pay, but even at $9, bro, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is awesome. This deal is just tremendous. You know, it's depressing when you look at the Batman Arkham collections of the world and the Mass Effect Legendary collections of the world, and then you realize that these studios are just absolutely washed, cooked, and beyond a shell of their former selves, but what can you do? Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 is an all-time great video game trilogy. Mass Effect 2 stands the test of time as one of the greatest video games of all time. Mass Effect 3 is really good as well. Ending aside, I thought it was a pretty solid game. And Mass Effect 1 shows its age, but still a damn good game. All three games are great, and for $8.99, it's a great playthrough. It's one of those trilogies that I think myself and many others, these are games that we're gonna play until we literally leave this earth. Like, that's how highly most of us think about this trilogy. We'll go back every 5 to 10 years and do another playthrough of these, you know. I certainly put Mass Effect 2 alongside, you know, that pantheon of the greatest games of all time. The Red Dead 2s of the world, the Final Fantasy 7s, Resident Evil 4s, Metal Gear Solid 3. Throw Mass Effect 2 in there because it's absolutely at that level. What a hot take there, buddy. But nonetheless, great game there. Great games, I should say. Undertale is 34% off for $9.99. I wish this was a little bit cheaper, just on the basis that Undertale has been down to like $1.49 on PC. And here on PlayStation, you're still left paying $9.89. Look, it's a great RPG. Thematically, it's awesome. It is very much a throwback from a presentation standpoint, very much that SNES style that's gonna be up the alley of a lot of people. But as far as tone, themes, and dialogue, and just the moral consequences of this game and all of those thematics it tackles, I think this game is really, really well done in terms of games that actually make you think and will stick with you for a while. I'm not gonna say like gameplay, it's revolutionary, but again, narratively and the atmosphere, I think it's fantastic. $9.89, great pickup there. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, 75% off for $9.99. I did hear about the very unfortunate news about Bloodstained Scarlet Engagement's creative director, Shutaro Ida, passing away at age 52. Condolences to him. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night was a fantastic game, and I'm so looking forward to Scarlet Engagement. I think it's about time that we got a sequel for Ritual of the Night. Just a great, great Metroidvania, and what a time for this genre with Castlevania coming back, a brand new Bloodstained. It's a good time for these classics, man, so great stuff, and for $9.99, this is a great pickup. Would highly recommend that. Next up, we have Dishonored 2, 80% off for $5.99. I've talked incredibly highly about Dishonored. It's one of my favorite video game IPs, honestly, of all time. I really hope that at some point we get a Dishonored 3, but, you know, Arcane's gonna be busy with the Marvel Blade title. That's gonna come out, and then maybe after that we'll get Dishonored 3. But Dishonored is just incredible from a gameplay standpoint. The nuance and the attention to detail and what you can do in the game to tackle different objectives and situations, I just think is so well done. Recently did a playthrough of Dishonored 1, and it gave me so much more appreciation for Dishonored playing it all these years later, and just looking at that game now a little bit older and playing so many more games, like, man, that game from a design standpoint was so well done in terms of creating a lot of meaningful design choices that add a lot of nuance into the gameplay options. Dishonored 2 is very much similar, has two playable characters, Corvo and Emily. I know the general consensus is Dishonored 1 was the more compelling game from a narrative standpoint, but Dishonored 2 was quite good as well. I gotta go back and play through this game again, but $5.99 on that, great pickup there. Next up, we got Okami HD, 50% off for $9.99. You know, whenever people talk about games and they talk about, oh, we're never gonna get a sequel for this game, we're never gonna get a sequel for that game, there are titles like Okami 2 being announced that really put to bed that idea of this game will never happen, that sequel will never happen, because for so many years, people had wanted a sequel for Okami, and Okami is one of the best received video games literally of all time. I talk about that pantheon of the greatest video games of all time. Okami, for a lot of people, is in there. For a lot of people, Okami is among the top 5 to 10 PlayStation 2 games of all time, which if you're familiar with the PS2 library, you know how much high praise that is. For a long time, we never thought we'd get an Okami 2, but then it got revealed, and I could not be more excited for that. Go back and play Okami. I know some of you guys, this game came out back in 2005, however, it has aged so gracefully. That watercolor aesthetic still looks fantastic to this day, and it's a game that stands the test of time, and Okami 2 is eventually going to come out. Probably not for a while, 2029, 2030, probably around that range, but when it comes out, you'd want to have played Okami 1, and then you'll be excited for that. I know we got Okami Den on the Nintendo DS, and that game was great, but to get a full-fledged sequel, man, those are the types of announcements that I get super excited for. You know, stuff you don't see coming, and Okami 2 was exactly one of that. So before that comes out, all of you guys, please play through the first one. It's great. Next up, we got Valkyria Chronicles 4 Complete Edition, 80% off for $9.99. A franchise that's been benched for quite a while, unfortunately. Hopefully, at some point, we'll get a port of Valkyria Chronicles 2 and 3, or a localization of 3 as well. But VC4 was really good, and you don't have to play the other Valkyria Chronicles games to enjoy Valkyria Chronicles. Chronicles 4. It kind of tells its own story that runs concurrently with Valkyria Chronicles 1, so you'll be able to enjoy it as a self-contained experience. Game is quite good. Fundamentally, from a gameplay standpoint, holds everything that Valkyria Chronicles 1 did well. There is an easy mode, which, you know, I love that. And the story is quite good. Love the watercolor visuals in this game as well, and like the characters, not blow away, but solid characters that were likable in all regards. So $9.99 on that with the DLC, quite good there. Then, we're going to round out this video by highlighting some deals from the indie sale. Those were all from the Critics' Choice sale. Slay the Spire is 66% off for $8.49. I played this game when it was just leaving early access on PC, and I was blown away by it, in the sense that I kind of just bought it on a whim, saw that the Steam reception was overwhelmingly positive, picked it up, and the idea of a roguelike with a deck builder combined with it, like, I was into card games, but that idea on paper to me sounded like, hey, that sounds a little interesting. Wasn't really familiar with it, and then I realized, oh, this is a really, really cool way to do a game, and there's so much depth to it. Even if you don't realize it right away, you realize these runs have a lot of tactics and decision making that will make it easier or harder depending on how you structure your deck. It's really well done in that regard, and if you're a fan of card games or you're just a fan of addicting, rewarding games, Slay the Spire is going to be something you enjoy. There is a sequel in development that's supposed to be out this year, I believe, on PC, and hopefully will come to PlayStation shortly thereafter. Next up, horror title Still Wakes the Deep is 75% off for $8.74. They do have the complete collection on sale for $15.99. That'll include the DLC as well. Really well-received horror game, a return to first-person narrative horror genre for the Chinese Room, creator of the critically acclaimed games Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, and Dear Esther. You're an offshore oil rig worker fighting for your life through a vicious storm, perilous surroundings, and the dark, freezing North Sea waters. All lines of communication have been severed. All exits are gone. All that remains is to face the unknowable horror that's come aboard. Explore a stunningly realized offshore oil rig in 1970 Scotland, world-class visuals, audio, and writing from award-winning studio The Chinese Room, star-studded cast, world-class haunting soundtrack, 6 hours of terrifying gameplay, and brace yourself up for a symphony of action, trepidation, and awe. All that available and Still Wakes the Deep. That's available for $8.74. Next up, we have Until Then, 60% off for $7.99. Talked about this quite a lot. This game is fantastic. It's a very emotionally gripping game. Can be something that hits you in the feel. So just be prepared for something that is going to, you know, maybe make you a little emotional. I don't know. Like, some people react to these games very differently. Like, I always talk about it with games like Gris, games like Until Then. I think these are the games that are most likely to resonate with people very differently, depending on where they are at as far as their emotional state and just how they click with, you know, stories that are emotional roller coasters. And, you know, definitely check it out for yourself. It's got a great throwback visual style that I think totally works for this kind of game, and something I think a lot of you guys will end up enjoying if you like your narrative-driven titles. Next up, something completely the polar opposite. Kill Knight is 50% off for $7.49. Now, this is a no-nonsense, over-the-top ballet of just bullet hell, blood and guts. It's a lot of fun. It's fast-paced. It'll keep you going and going. I had a great time with this for what I played of it. And I think for $7.49, if you want something addicting and just absolutely chaotic, yeah, this is going to give you that in spades. And lastly, we have Dungeons of Hinterberg. That is 60% off for $9.19. Was initially an Xbox title, then it got ported to PlayStation later, but really well received. Welcome to Hinterberg, a new tourist hotspot in the idyllic Austrian Alps. As Luisa, your escape from the treadmill of corporate life quickly unravels when the mysterious local dungeons stir back into life once more. Will you restore peace to this once serene alpine paradise, or be sent straight back to your humdrum life back home? Great visual style and aesthetics here. That is available for just $9.19. And that's going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals under the price of $10. Links to all of these in the description box below. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.